Biggest story of the day.
Yeah.
Kentucky. They came into this week as a team that was on the wrong side of the bubble. They came into this week coming off of a loss to a Georgia team that was a quad 3 loss. We were questioning whether or not Kentucky was going to make the NCAA tournament. Then they go into Starkville and beat Mississippi State, who was one of the hottest teams in the SEC at the time. Turn around Saturday, smack around a good Tennessee team. I know Tennessee was shorthanded. No Josiah Jordan-James, no Julian Phillips. That didn't matter when they beat the #1 team in the country on Wednesday night. So the Kentucky Wildcats now have 3 quad 1 wins, 2 wins over Tennessee.
Yeah.
They're in the tournament now.
Yeah, they're in. I mean, right now they're in. And obviously when you look at their schedule upcoming, at Florida, Auburn, who's fraudulent. Me and you have called them fraudulent all year, and they showed it tonight. We'll talk about the loss to Vandy later. Then they get Vandy at home, and they finish at Arkansas. So honestly, if they go 2-2 the rest of the way, they split these 4, they probably are in even without winning an SEC tournament game. But I think they go 2-2, they win an SEC tournament game, and that keeps them out of Dayton too. That's the biggest thing right now for Kentucky. You want to get in the field. You don't want to have to deal with playing somebody in Dayton that honestly could beat you. Because right now, really, the only legitimate team that Kentucky has beaten all year is the Tennessee Vols, right? They're the only 2 quad 1 wins they've got.
No, they got 3. They won at Mississippi State.
That's a quad 1 win?
That's a quad 1 win.
All right. I mean, I don't really consider Mississippi State very good.
I mean,
I know they're on the bubble. I know they're on the bubble, but they're not very good. To me, the biggest thing today was Casey Wallace. When he plays well, they have a chance. Now he's hit a little bit of a freshman wall. He's been banged up lately, but it allows for the fact for Oscar to have an okay night. And that's really like Oscar has not been National Player of the Year worthy. We know that. He's not been first team All-American worthy. He's been solid this year. Underwhelming compared to what you thought he'd do.
Yeah, but the thing about it is he was banged up at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Right. And what he is as a player is always going to be a little bit underwhelming when you think about him in the context of National Player of the Year. He is at his core a great role player. But he's out there.
See, I don't like when you say that. I don't like when you say that. What do you mean he's a great role player? He's a great role player when he won National Player of the Year.
Maybe he shouldn't have won it.
Well, but you voted for him.
I did. What were the other choices? What were the other choices? Johnny Davis?
Well, he was pretty good until he got
Keegan
hurt.
Murray?
I don't know. A role player. No, you need to take that back.
Is he a go-to guy? Can you throw the ball to him and get a bucket?
No, but that doesn't mean he's a role player.
So what's his job?
Oh, come on. He's not a role player.
He's
not.
His role out there is to go. He's not the superstar. He's not someone you could build a team around. We know he's not someone you could build an offense around.
They did last year. They won a lot of games last year.
But they didn't run offense around him. They had Ty Washington. They had Severe Wheeler. They had Kellen Grady. They had other guys that you could do stuff around. His job was to go out there and get every rebound and be a guy that took up space in the middle of the lane. And right now, what he is still the same thing. You can't throw the ball to him offensively. You can't defend ball screens with him.
He just doesn't look, honestly, not that he's super explosive, but he doesn't look as explosive as he did last year offensively. I think the knee is bothering him. I think it's been bothering him all year.
And I don't think he's the only one that's banged up on that team. Obviously, Severe Wheeler's missed some time.
And CJ Frederick
missed some time.
Yes.
They can't get CJ Frederick to be healthy for more than like a week straight.
Right.
And at the end of the day, there's always going to be a ceiling for what this Kentucky team can be when you don't have CJ and Reeves both available.
Yeah, I mean, because we saw it for like a snapshot of what they could be. You got them both out there, right? Both of them. We've been talking about it all year. If you have both those shooters out there, they're making shots with Casey Wallace, who I think has kind of come down to earth a little bit from his perimeter shooting. Remember, he was so good out of the gates, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, Casey Wallace, look at him. He's at 40%.
Well, because he took a bunch of wide open shots, and they started running stuff for him, and he stopped making them, and he got banged up, and people kind of figured him out a little bit. It's going to happen when you're a freshman, right?
To me, also, like Tennessee, like I know they're missing a couple dudes, but like
that's what I was going to ask you. Where do you stand on the Vols right now? Because I think, and we're going to talk about the top 16 review.
Honestly, I don't feel good about them at all, and I have never felt good about them this year. Never. As a like a Final Four I'm not even sure I feel good about them as a second weekend team.
I think that they can get there because their defense can be so overwhelming that if they get a 2 or a 3 seed, which I think is probably going to happen because of their metrics, then they can overwhelm teams with their defense, with their size
Sure.
and their length and their athleticism. And I mean, but here's the other part of it. They have 6 losses to teams outside of the top 35 in the net.
Yeah.
Do you know how many other AP poll top 25 teams have more than 4? It's none. They have 6 losses to teams outside of the top 35 in the net. So it's a big red flag to me. And it's a major problem because there is one specific issue that they have. Offensive end of the floor. They can't score. They don't have a go-to guy. They don't have a go-to guy. And when your offense is built around 5'8" Zakai Ziegler or Santiago Vescovi, who is literally slower than you.
It'd be a close foot race. It'd be a close one. I think he'd get me.
I think you're probably.
I drank a few beers up there, so I think he'd get me right now.
Well, I think you probably have a better vertical than him.
I got a great vertical.
Yeah,
I out-jumped Hummel.
That's not hard.
19 and a half.
Yeah, if you could literally jump up 1 step, you got a higher vertical than Robbie Hummel does.
I hope he's listening to you.
He looked good today, by the way.
Yeah, he gave me a couple packages of Twizzlers, by the way.
There you go. How happy are you?
I was happy.
Why didn't you bring them?
I'm going to eat them tomorrow in West Lafayette.
I could use it
at Purdue. Tonight. I'll give them to you tomorrow. We'll eat them in honor of Hummel when we try to find the statue tomorrow in West Lafayette.
Yes, that's going to be our goal. There is a statue of Robbie Hummel somewhere.
We're told
in West Lafayette.
Sources say there's a statue. We are on a mission tomorrorow to find it in West Lafayette.
All right.